Okay, great. Good evening, dear educators. My name is Varun and I'm the co-founder of Teacher.in. I warmly welcome you to today's certification course on creating and selling courses online for educators who teach classics and above, presented by Teacher.in in association with School of Education, Osmania University and EdChat India. So before we get into the session, there are a set of ground rules that I want every single one of you to follow so that the session goes smoothly. The most important rule is to keep your mic on mute and your video off. We would, however, mute you during the session, but in case if you have any queries or questions, you can please post it in the chat box that you can see in your Teams window. In case if you're not able to access the chat box, what you can possibly do is that you can go to the YouTube live stream and you can post your questions, or you can post in our WhatsApp groups. We would be answering the questions at the end of the session. So please do not interrupt the session in between in case if there are any questions. Please take a note of it, and there'll be a specific question and answer session at the end of the presentation, and where we'll be taking detailed questions about the entire session. If you have any if you face any technical glitch, like the video is not being seen or the audio is not being seen, you can go to our YouTube live stream and you can directly join there, because there you wouldn't really have any audio or video glitch. And the other part is that in case if you're not able to join the YouTube live stream, you please stay calm. These technical glitches are common, and you would get back to the session immediately. And at the end of the session, this is the most important thing. You have to fill a feedback from our side. This feedback form would be our only source of communication with you. So we would be reaching out to you with all the assignments that are meant for the session, and we would be sending all the details to you over mail. So please fill the feedback form at the end of the session. So before we start, I'd give you a brief introduction about what we do at Teacher. So Teacher is a professional network for educators. At Teacher, educators can connect with fellow educators. You can exchange ideas and resources. You can attend professional development sessions like these. We've been conducting several different certification courses and professional development activities during our lockdown period. And you can attend all such sessions on Teacher, and you can also find various work from home opportunities and remote jobs in addition to all the school and institution jobs on teacher.in. So please check the website out and apply for any jobs or connect with fellow educators. It's India's first professional network for educators. So now moving to the next most important part. This is the introduction about our speaker. We have Mr. Deepak Sharma today, who is joining us to give us a brief idea about how we as teachers can create courses and sell them online. So Deepak is a good friend and he's an IIM alumnus and he's the founder of Trend.co. Trend.co is an online education technology platform which enables teachers and trainers to run their own e-learning websites and helps them create and sell online courses. So Deepak comes from a technological background, and he built several past and worked with firms like Deutsche Bank, Hitachi Consulting, Utopia Mobile, and many more. So before the lockdown, Deepak realized the pain point faced by teachers and trainers in running their businesses. And during lockdown, he had personally seen how COVID-19 had impacted their entire businesses, and this led him to start and build Trend.co. Thank you so much, Deepak, for joining us today. It is an absolute pleasure to host you, and we hope to have a solid learning session in the next couple of hours. So over to you, Deepak. You can begin sharing your screen.
Harsha, can I ask one question here?
May I know who's this?
Harsha, good afternoon. Srinivas Rajula here.
Yes, sir. Please tell me.
Out of curiosity, your firm name Teacher, right? So is just creative name or something, anything serious out of this?
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking.
Now your firm name teacher, the double R, is just a creative,
Yeah.
anything mysterious out of this?
No. It's we wanted the extra R stands for redefining education. So that is what we intend to do at teacher.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. So over to you, Deepak. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a great learning session over the next couple of hours. You can begin sharing your screen. Hi Deepak, are you there? Your voice is not audible.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much
Hello.
better.
Okay.
Yes, Deepak, I can hear
I
you.
think there was some issue with my mic actually. So thank you everyone for joining.
Okay.
Probably I think we're already into the session, so I'll just share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it is
Great.
visible.
Great. Thank you, Varun. Thank you for having me. And Rajan is also joined. Rajan is the co-founder of Trend. CE, along with me, have founded the Trend.co. And the idea was to help teachers and instructors to, overcome the situation of COVID-19, and at the same time, to make sure that they become financially independent by, sharing their knowledge. So one of the pain points what we realize is a lot of teachers who have knowledge, but they're not able to share it because they don't have kind of infrastructure or let's say understanding of technology. So we came up with a solution called Trend.co where instructors can create their courses, sell their courses at the market course as well. So while we have been fortunate to have a positive response in this regard, we launched around on almost first week of June, and within less than a month, we actually onboarded 500 plus teachers who are actually creating courses on our website. And somehow we actually got in touch with a teacher through Varun, and realized there is a lot of good work actually happening through teacher in terms of our community of teachers. And that's how we pitched, why not let teachers also enjoy or let's say have the fruits of their knowledge from Trend.co. And we did one session last month in terms of understanding what online course is all about. And we heard some of the issues which teachers were creating and working on to it. Initially, when we started, we were giving only the platform to launch the website and create the elements. But over the period of time, speaking to a lot of teachers, we realized one of the bigger pain points for them is not only going online, it is also in terms of marketing, selling the courses. So eventually, what we did is we listened to them and we converted ourselves into a B2C site. So now teachers not only can create the website, can actually see the courses visible to the students, and students can also buy the courses directly from us. So I think I'll just go through it. So this is a brief about what Train is. It's an online marketplace for education covering school and college education. Over the period of time, what we realized that a lot of focus have been in terms of different niche areas, but realized the potential of the marketplace for the simple reason there are more than couple of lakhs teachers who are teaching in different education arena in terms of covering school, education, BA, BCom, engineering, medical. So these are the places where students don't typically find the content from really good instructors, right? And that is where we come into place. We allow teachers to organize, upload, sell their courses online. So what we'll cover today is why create online courses. Then it will be about how to create your courses. It will covering the content of course, how to create presentations and what videos needs to be done, and helping your students succeed. And after that, we'll probably take the questions. So this is just about a person, an accountant or commerce teacher named Mr. Adesh Sharma. He was actually very successful. He was running an entire tuition business. So what he did is he took the opportunity. He lost the income because of COVID, and all the the classes were closed down because of Corona, and no one can actually go to each other's home. So he was struggling for a couple of months, and then somehow with the interaction he came on board with on our platform, and he created only one course related to accountancy, and he started selling it actually, and now he's able to almost recover whatever the revenue he had lost in last 1 month, and he's slowly and slowly going to create a couple of more courses onto it, because he has been teaching in accounting for close to 20 years actually now. So why create online courses actually? So benefit of online courses is you create once and sell often. Meaning the effort of a teacher to create a course is only once. The effort goes into creating the material, creating presentation, creating videos. All they have to do it only one time, and they can upload it on the platform, and platform will take care of everything related to selling and marketing. So this is a great way of investing your time only once. So let's say, and you only have to work again if there is an update in your course. Otherwise, all you have to do is just create once, and our platform will take care of in terms of selling it to the wider audience. Awareness: if you are a very good instructor, if your course is selling, people will actually will know about you. You will actually have better customer retention. You will actually have better revenue marking also. Plus, your website and courses will actually help you build a brand itself. So eventually, if you, for some reason it helps you to connect with your students as well. Not only your online students, although also offline students can actually take part of into it, and they can actually learn the lessons or consume the courses or the material which they might have actually missed one or two tuition classes actually. Saves time for simple reason, you're creating it once, right? You don't have to create every now and then. You have to worry about writing on Blackboard for again and again every now and then, and you can actually create the entire content on your own pace. So there is no necessity that you have to create in, let's say, during the daytime or evening time and within fixed hours. You can actually do your entire day activity, and the evening, or let's say in the night when you're free, you can actually create your entire course. Easy management. You realize when you start using trend.co to create your courses, it is easier than using your any social media platform. Why I'm saying this is because I have been using social media platform, but for last couple of years I stopped using Facebook. But eventually, to market my business and everything, I came back again on Facebook. For somewhere the interface has been changed a lot, and it took me a while to get understanding and hold of Facebook, even though I have been using it since its inception 2007. So the platform we have designed is looking at in terms of how teachers will consume the content, how they actually create the content. So all those factors have been taken care of while creating the entire platform. So the beauty of it is you're only creating it once and making revenue again and again by selling the same course. So what goes into creating your content is much of your class content is all about images, PDF, zip, videos, quizzes, right? But it is all about organizing in a manner that it fashions or replicates the offline classes so that an user can actually benefit from the online. I'm just rechecking it again. Varun, are you seeing the same page, create a course and content page?
Yes, Deepak.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, because last time we missed out on here. So what goes into course creation? Course creation is all about creating a course outline. It means before you create a content, you have to structure it in a way, the way you wanted to sell it, or a student has to consume. It means you write this, some outline, what will go into courses. You arrange the flow, identify this is my course, these are the chapters in my course. There are classes in this course, and each of the classes will actually this kind of content in over there. And you have to identify the assessment measurements also, meaning you can actually write quizzes. You can actually have single option click quiz, or a multiple option quiz, or a single line entry quiz. So there are different formats available on a platform which you can actually consume to create the assessment for the teacher, sorry, for the student. Idea is that measuring is very important, because as the student will actually know how much they are able to understand or not, and it also gives you a valid feedback in terms of how people are consuming your courses, and if they're able to understand your course so that the outcome can be measured. So that is also an important part of it. So what goes in course outline, right? When you're defining course outline, you actually write down step by step what is the outline of everything which a student can consume, right? So let's say if my outcome is in a trigonometry chapter is to understand, let's say in a triangle is understand all the angles, different types of triangles, right? So probably I can actually write it down. Okay, I'll go in a flow. Let's say what is triangle, different types of triangle. Within each triangle, I try to cover the scalene triangle, right angle triangle, obtuse triangle. Within each of these triangles, I actually define what kind of different angles are actually there, what defines right angle triangle, right? So that way you actually do it, and you call these steps as a chapter, for the simple reason because that is how we have been tuned in learning in schools also. So take any subject, you always have a chapter into it, and each chapter has certain content into it, which are covered in a class. So a particular chapter can actually have 3 or 4 classes or one class itself that is being covered into it. So typically, what we try to see is video lecture has to come into it. Why? Because it's an online content, and because reading is already sometimes is difficult to follow. When people are or students are viewing the videos, they see the benefit of from a understanding lectures point of view. They also able to understand what complex ideas are there, and videos also have very good attention span for a student. For simple reason, viewing a video makes it easier for a student, or because it's a visually appealing, it's easier for a person to consume the content. Now, to use the video lecture, we'll go into detail as well. You can actually do a screen flow recording or create your own videos. We'll cover these different options available on how to do it. Now, apart from video lectures, right, idea is that because your student is going to come and consume the course one time, and he or she is going to provide a feedback or let's say reviews on your course, it is better to provide as many content or information for the courses regarding to the particular student. So let's say you can actually cover case studies, you can actually cover let's say tools, you can cover different some YouTube material, you can actually cover some worksheet or cheat sheets. Sometimes you can actually cover more and more content. So it's just that it becomes supplementary income. So video should become your primary content consume, and the rest of things are there so that people can study on their own pace. So that is what you have to figure it out in terms of course outline. So this is just a sample course outline, which I'm trying to explain over here. So I just covered a CBSE class 9 science. This class 9 science is around 15 chapters. So let's say if someone wants to create an entire online course of this subject, they have to create at least all the chapters for this particular course. For simple reason, because people want to buy a complete courses, but there are certain ways when people a student might only want to consume particular chapter. So you have to figure it out. What is the best for your you as an instructor to put kind of effort, and what is your target audience and what kind of material they can consume. So if you look, I just look at into chapter 6. Chapter 6 is about tissues, and within that tissues there are a lot of content is available in terms of types of tissues, plant tissues, animal tissues. So those are actually gets combined into a format called class. Now class is what a student will actually consume. Now this is where the entire focus comes into place. Once you create a class name type of tissues, you should actually be able to provide certain videos related to understanding of tissues. That videos can be in a PPT format, or let's say on a properly recorded format. Then you can actually provide certain sort of PDF related, which can be an extra material for them. you can actually provide some kind of, let's say, 5-6 pages of presentation which they can actually help and understand from their own pace. And text is something which is you can actually try to figure it out. Okay, this is the content which is good in terms of only a word format. The text content will also be beneficial for them. So let's say if I'm going to create a chapter on tissues, my chapter will actually call tissues. It will actually at least have minimum 7 classes, and each of the classes will actually have videos. Now, in the screen which you can see is class 1 says type of issue video. Now within one class itself you can actually have 1 or 2 videos or 2 or 3 videos or multiple PDFs, multiple presentation. Idea is to provide the student as much as information as possible, so that the moment they are done with this course, they are actually figure out, what, I have gained something new from this course. And when they feel this positivity, they try to share it with their friends and families, and who actually, it becomes a word of mouth publicity for you and for your course as well. From assessment point of view, right, try to have at least one quiz after one chapter. It is nice to have a quiz at end of each class, but sometimes it becomes too tedious. So you can actually, let's say, create a quiz of, let's say, 10 to 15 questions, so that you can actually verify what is the understanding of your concept or the course with the student. Or if you have time and material, you can actually, let's say, for after every class, you can at least create a concept quiz, which can be of 3 to 4 questions actually. So our platform allows you to do everything like this. You can actually create a quiz video on a separate class basis, as well as sometime on a end of chapter also. So this is how you have to structure it out. Before you even go into preparing the material, you have to figure out what my structure is there, what my teaching outcome has to be there, what kind of chapters will be covered over there, how many chapters I can create. Can I create one chapter, second 2 chapter, 3 chapter, or I need to create 15 chapters? That entirely depends upon your experience in terms of in terms of how your students have been consuming the content. So the question always is what to include in content, right? So what you can actually do is you can actually create your own content, but at the same time you can actually create a preview video also, let's say around 20 or 30-second video, where you can actually say what goes into each section, right? What is the expectation, what are you going to teach in this particular section, and what is the expected outcome of this section actually, right? Before you start writing or recording your videos, writing something, script for each module and lecture, meaning you actually write down everything you want to speak about it. So it might look a little bit tedious task, but I think this entire planning helps you in creating a content very fast, because this is an offline activity where you are not recording or not doing anything related to the platform. You can actually delve deep and able to prepare the entire script of into it. Type of video like each lecture will be. So in terms of, let's say, what type of video will it be, my own recording on a webcam or on a smartphone, or do I have to do screen recording? You have to figure it out what kind of video will actually work in each of the lectures, right? Slide content in terms of, let's say, if you're creating a slide, what will actually go into a content as in your slides? It can be bullets, it can be text, it can be bullet plus text, and that is, you will have to understand what kind of content is what the teacher or the student will actually understand. So some of the slides might be reflective in terms of, let's say, bullet might be fine, bullet with couple of one line description might be fine, but there are certain slides which actually help to might have to put images, write certain text into it. Worksheet content is something which you figure it out. If I have to give someone an assignment, what kind of assignment actually can try to do it actually. Other cheat sheets, calendars, spreadsheets, meaning this is an extra material which might actually that you might have actually. Can someone please mute the mic? Thank you. So that is something you can actually might have collected the material over a period of time, or you might have created on your own, which might be, let's say, an addendum or appendix to your main course. That is also you can actually provide, right? Links to other resources. Now, since the internet has opened the vast range of education, because it is not only limited to the content which is being generated in India, it can also be content generated across the globe. So if you come across certain material, you can actually provide those links to the sites or blog posts to your students, so that if they want more information outside the scope of it, they'll actually share it and actually go online and actually try to see it. So this openness helps a student to understand what are the benefits of consuming or taking the purchasing a course from you, because he or she knows that you are an expert on this field. So that's why this experience actually helped them to understand the concept or the courses better. So all these two slides were about, these three slides about course outline, what your course outline has to look into, what includes into it. Now we come into part where we figure out what tools are required. So typically what you can actually do is you can actually screen record your presentation, right? There are different tools available how to do your recording of your screen. Presentation, you can actually use Microsoft PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva.com. This particular presentation which you're seeing, which I'm sharing with you, has been created with Canva.com. It is one of the most beautiful, amazing site in terms of design. We have a lot of different types of presentation templates, images, icons, and everything. This is a great tool to create and get you started in terms of creating your presentation. One thing which I like to stress out is here, you can create a format or your content in Word, PPT, Excel, and everything, but we emphasize on saving it as PDF and uploading as PDF. For simple reason, PDF has uniformity across the tools or across the devices. So in a format as PPT or Google PPT might look different on different computers or mobile phone. The PDF has only a very simple and non-destructive way of viewing your content. So you can use different methods to create your content, but in the end, you try to save it as PDF and upload in PDF format only. Next comes the video part, which you can actually use it to create own content, and the microphone, which I also covered, which is called a lavalier phone. I'll just show you the lavalier phone. I'm just sharing my. I'll just open my video. Can you see me on screen, please?
Yes, yes.
So this is what is typical. This is your typically lavalier headphone. This is same as something what you see all the news anchors and everyone on the camera actually using it. So it's a very simple device, right? It costs not more than $900 on Amazon actually, but it helps you to record a very crystal clear audio. So coming back to our presentation. So coming to the how you create a presentation. What goes into presentation? When you're creating slides for your presentation, you actually choose a template. There are a lot of great templates in Microsoft and Canva.com. And if you're using Apple, there is an application called Keynote that also has a great presentation, right? One of the key things for you to understand is you don't have to use too many colors. Use only 2 or 3 colors, right? If you see this presentation, this entire presentation is made in black and white, right? There is hardly any color except the logo of the company. Everything has been done into black and white. That is the theme which I am using it. For the simple reason, it is able, so that because the more you're browsing different slides, you're able to connect with the presentation. So you're not running around in terms of trying to figure out what exactly each of the different color means into it. And the way to try to do is you can actually use one dark and one light color, because they stand out to be very good in when they're together. Same as white background in black text. Black text is something which you can see on the presentation over here. For text, you can actually use bullet points or lengthy text or mix, whichever works for you. And I think it is mostly in terms of the kind of difficulty a particular what do you call a course actually has. A simple course might actually work with a couple of bullet points or some line text, or certain might actually require you to have lengthy text and images. right? The last part in these images is that use images to drive a point. Meaning, if you see over my PPT, right, I'm trying to use images to understand with the context. When I'm talking about screen recording video, my screen is showing someone recording a woman on the on the camera. So my next, when I'm talking about presentation, my slide actually has image of something related slide on a computer actually. So because having increase the attention span of your student. So below are a couple of sites. This material will be shared with you by Varun. So these are for while creating your content, you need images, right? So you can get images from the net, but these are a couple of nice website, unsplash.com, Latest Coffee, Dead to Stock Photo, Splitshire, Life of X. So these are the sites which are available through which you can actually have your stock photos, your icons, which you can use it in itself to creating a presentation. Right? Now this is the only slide which is in color. This was because to drive a point. Add a color overlay on top of the photo. So having an image background with the text, you know, adds a lot of had a very good visual appealing in terms of how you present your content to the audience. If I were to produce only a white screen with black text, people might actually lose interest. But let's see if I'm able to find an image right related to my material, I can actually use that image as as a background, and I can use text as an overlay, which will actually help an user to understand the entire content. Similarly, if you're using a dark image, use white or light text color. Why? It is all about contrast, which I just shared at this slide. Use one dark and one light color as they stand out together. So if you see, this image is talking about same. The background is dark, but the color text is actually white. Reduce the opacity of the image so it's faint in the background. Sometimes what you want to
I
is,
have a question, sir. I have a question. May I?
Yeah.
So I want to know the videos make the site very heavy actually. So is there any solution to that?
I am coming to videos. I'm still at the presentation. The videos will come to that place.
Okay,
Just, just,
presentation
just,
is different.
no, no, it's still there. Just park your question. I'll come to that part. Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is about if you have bright light image, you use. So it is just contrast of this one. If you have dark image, use light color. If you light image, use dark color, so that it visually enhances your presentation. So now coming to video, right? I'll come to the the size of video part as well. So there are two ways to create a videos. One is do it yourself, create videos with simple tools, right? You can do screen recording. And one of the most important thing is the sound. The idea is to minimize the sound, because when you try to record a different format, you have to make sure that there is zero or very, very minimal background noise, so that a student's experience is not hampered. So when you come to do it yourself, there are ways to do it. You can actually use a smartphone to record a video. Typically, all the smartphone today, which I think almost good smartphone, let's say almost about 8,000, 9,000 rupees, actually have 1080p or HD format to record a video. If you find don't have that kind of experience of holding or recording yourself on the smartphone, you can actually use your laptop or your webcam on a computer. But in this case, you might actually have to purchase an extra HD webcam, because typically the webcam provided by the manufacturer of the laptop or desktop are not of the high quality, right? Uh, for voice, you need to have good quality video recorder. So what you can actually do is you can actually record your phone, or let's say your video through webcam, and actually use a different phone to use as a voice recorder. But that will require you to merge the two different files. So you have to use different software which will help you to merge video and audio. Now coming to ma'am's question in terms of when they create a video, the file size is too large. So don't worry about it, right? Because there are a lot of tools available which allow you to decrease the size of your videos. So Handbrake is one of the very, very good tool which allows you to compress a video so that can be uploaded online. It already has a feature in terms of what kind of size you want, and this tool is good enough that you can actually retain almost the original quality of your high resolution, high definition videos. So Hendrik is what something not only amateurs use. I think the professional creators who want to create YouTube videos and everything, who upload it on website, they also use the Hendrik solution. So ma'am, does it answer your question? How to reduce the size of the video file?
Yes, but I'm very much new to this, so I'll need to find these tools, the Handbrake and whatever else you said, Canva.com and all this. I've seen sites where online content is there. They sell this through their site, and I have seen their audio files because they simply said that video is very heavy, so we don't put a video. And while listening to audio, I generally sleep. So
Yeah, that's where videos. That's why videos have become very
video
important.
has that's a purpose, but then and they do protect their data as well. They have some time limit. I mean, for 3 months or 6 months, you can access their course, and then the data remains on their site only. We cannot download that.
So that is part of the application which we will cover in our next session. So today is all about how to create your courses, what tools are required, how you outline your courses and everything. In terms of application, the duration, everything, that will be covered tomorrow.
Yeah,
Sir,
but
while
generally
we are
in
into the
school,
videos, sorry.
generally in schools, we generally simply teach from the book and other activity sheets. Here we have to prepare the whole content and then teach. It takes a lot of strategy and skill on our part.
Yes, so Deepak, I'd like to answer that. So that we are actually conducting this course to help you out in ensuring that you create these quality courses in an easy manner. So Deepak would essentially help you out in that area. This entire course is to help you create courses in an easier fashion using the tool. So yes, that would be covered in the next set of sessions. And with regards to the questions, teachers, we can take the questions in the last part of the session because ideally this would hamper the flow of the session and it would cause bother to other participants. So we'll be taking up questions and answers at the end of the session, and please note it down. Please note all your questions down, and after Deepak is done with his presentation, we can go to the question answer session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Deepak.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Varun. So with the earlier slide, we saw in terms of how to create your own videos, right? In terms of using smartphone and different tools and everything. But sometimes this can be a little bit difficult, or let's say, kind of heavy for a new person to use these different tools. So what you can actually do is something called screencasting. Screencasting is a great way to create your videos, right? Because it allows you to record your screen, your audio, and your webcam also, so that it's easy for you to do just one time, and helps you to edit the videos as well, and so that can be converted into online learning platform. So these are the three different tools available online. One is Active Presenter, right? Uh, the hyperlinks are in the presentation, but because right now I'm not showing over here. This requires some learning curve. The only issue with this one is it leaves it watermark, because on the free tier, if you want to have, once you get expertise around it, if you want to explore different versions of it, you can buy the product. But for you to start working and doing your work and creating courses, the free version is more than enough actually. It might leave a watermark, it might just say Active Presenter or something like that, but I don't think that actually matters that much. Similarly is free online screen recorder. This is something uh, similar to Active Presenter, right? It is entirely free and doesn't leave any watermark. So you can actually record just your screen. You can just record your webcam, or you can record screen and webcam, right? And you can actually do the video editing for this particular software. In last couple of years, this tool called Loom Video has popped up a lot, and people are starting using it. It's a very basic software which allows you to create your content with your. So Loom allows you to screen record and screen and web record yourself right? It has a free tier which allows you to create your content, but doesn't have any video editing facility. But for a starter, it is a very great tool to use it because it's just click and record sort of feature. But good thing is they have a paid plan of called I think $10 per month, which is free for educators and students. If you have your professional email ID, let's say if your school or college you're working for and they have your professional ID, you can actually get the pro version for free. So I think you can try any of these solution to it. But my preference will be that if you're starting in the first time, try to use Loom or free online screen recorder, so that you're able to record and record your video, audio as well as yourself on the webcam, right? So this is one of the greatest way to start getting the online, having your recording going on the screen, your presentation going on the screen, and webcam also recording your your profile or your face, so that they can realize what it is just not the screen. If there is some teacher who has actually created the entire content. Now comes the engagement part, right? What we realize is the engagement is a little bit less in terms of online classes compared to offline, because there is less cohesion, right? But to increase this togetherness, you might actually have to increase the engagement within the students, or let's say, or the students who might be consuming your content individually. So what you can actually do is you can actually create as many quizzes as possible to check their knowledge or check their understanding of the concept. This will actually help you to understand how the progress of teachers or the student is actually going on, right? So our system allows you to create session after every class, or sorry, quiz after every class, or quiz after every chapters, or even for the entire course you can actually create different quizzes. Yeah.
Deepak, you're not audible. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Next is Q&A. What our system allows is when you upload the content, right, each of the student can actually, after every class or session, they can actually leave a question to you which is visible only to you, and that you can actually answer. So that builds a sort of cohesion between you and the student. So even though you have created the course one time, right, but once in a while, if you keep answering the student question from if they're reaching out to you, that builds a very good brand and visibility between among your students actually. So now let's say if you're using some of, let's say, social media tools, and if you're teaching particular class, you can actually create a different social media groups where students can actually come and engage and try to share their ideas into it. So just giving gist of it, while I was doing my MBA from IIM Indore, a couple of teachers actually created a Facebook group for that particular year student on the particular post, where they can use to post different materials, have a free fall question and answer different students and the teacher itself, because the consumption of this course will actually happen by each of the individual students, but when they're connected to the social media platform, they're able to build a very good rapport with the teacher and the student itself. So I think having one or two Facebook pages, or let's say WhatsApp group, will actually help you to have a better engagement with the students. Now, the next part is about group call, because much of the content is being consumed by the student on his own because of videos and everything. Now, and this content might be created, let's say 1 month or 2 months or 3 or 6 months earlier as well. So what you can actually do is you can ask these, you can actually through our platform, you can actually run weekly webinar or monthly webinar, whichever suits you, right? To actually answer the queries of the students who are actively pursuing or completing the courses actually. So these are a couple of strategies which will help you to increase or build the engagement with the students. And I think this is the best way where your brand is also reflected, and your eagerness to help teachers will also help these students to understand better. So how do you help your students to succeed? By asking them, right? Because this is the first time you might be creating a content for online consumption. So there might be some feedback which you actually require into it. So you can actually use Google survey or a Typeform. Similarly, what Varun does for this entire webinar, he actually takes the feedback and collects the form different responses from teachers, everyone. So that is a way you can actually, provide that kind of link into your to your courses, so students can actually go and give feedback actually what is actually happening over there. When you see a proactive in terms of reaching out to them, you can, so students feel that you are more concerned about them. At the same time, you can also build a better path of study for them, as well as tailor the content for future classes as well. Next part is about accountability, right? Because it's an online or online course. Sometimes student might drop off, right? They might feel dejected, or some might feel they may not be feeling the same interesting things which they feel it in classes. So what you can actually do is reach out to them by email, WhatsApp, or social media platform, and ask them about their progress, what they're feeling about it, so that they're always connected to the course and able to figure it out what exactly is happening. Tracking through our dashboard, you can actually see how the students are progressing in terms of the entire course. So so typically what our platform allows is, so let's say if my course has 10 chapters and I have already consumed, let's say, 4 courses, it will only show you 40% of success being done. And at the same time, if they completed the quizzes or assignment, you will actually see those things actually happening, and that will give you a good example in terms of how these students are consuming the course and what the progress is there. So if they are not able to do it, if they're taking too much of time, you can actually proactively reach out to them and help them to succeed. Because online courses is all about working as a team from a student and teacher's perspective. While your role is to impart knowledge and share your knowledge to all the students, but the real benefit for student is there when they have a teacher to whom they can actually reach out to for help and everything. And that is where, if you let your students succeed in their learning outcome, and I think we will be succeeding as taking offline education to almost an online platform. So these are typical, what I'm going to say is marketing your online course. While we actually take care of the entire reaching out to the customer from our own website, but we always feel a good course is all about creating a brand for itself. You can actually reach out, create your own social media pages. You can answer Quora. Quora is a Q&A site which actually allows you to answer answer to the questions related to your field, right? You can actually register over there. YouTube is actually where you can actually upload your videos, right? Addendum videos, or let's say if your course is about 10 videos, you can actually, let's say, 1 or 2 videos over there. They can actually see 1 or 2 videos, and that can drive traffic to the website. Blogging is something, let's say, you can actually connect with each other to reach out to writing your own blog, or let's say you can actually reach out to different people who might be within the same interest area. You can guest blog over there, so that can actually backlink to your web page. The question which I keep guessing is that since we are marketing, why this sort of marketing required from teachers? And it is all about brand building. At one time, I was actually selling products on Amazon, right? So Amazon is a great platform where I can actually source my stuff from outside India and sell it in outside India, sell it in India, or source it from manufacturers. Because at one time, I actually used to have online marketplace for handicraft item actually. So even with the platform like Amazon, we actually run ads on Amazon. We actually have our own Facebook page. Idea is that for a fact Amazon is going to reach out to a wider audience. But what if I want to my audience to reach out to my particular product itself? That is where, as a instructor or a seller, I need to also be proactive on the social media platform or different marketing channels. So these are things which you'll keep learn over the period of time actually. So idea is to first you to create the content and understand how to create it, use the platform, and then start marketing into it. So coming to last slide, right? With Train, you can actually reach, because we are focused across the marketplace. So it means we are reaching out to instructors to create course on a platform where we can sell it to different students, right? And we are not restricting ourselves from only for school. We are reaching out to colleges because we realize there are a lot of students from different classes where they want to learn only one couple of chapters or couple of concepts to begin with, or there are a lot of engineering students or BCom students who want to understand more about the concept. So that is where the material is not available on the market, right? And having your own website or a presence on Trin.co helps you to build brand. So it means you can actually not only teach your students living within the vicinity of area or your city, you can actually teach your content and share knowledge across the broad spectrum actually. So that is where Trin helps you to build your presence online, market yourself, and sell your courses. And I think we are, I think, I'm not quite sure with other things, but we are one of the few companies who are actively working on promoting and taking teachers online. So I think that's pretty much from me, right? So these are my credentials over here. This is company phone number and email address, and you can reach out to us for any query. So Varun, over to you.
Yes, great. Thank you so much, Deepak, for sharing your insights. So, teachers, I'll give you a brief idea of what you're going to do in the 2-day session. Like in today's session was more on the theoretical lines, where we speak about all the different aspects of a course and the do's and don'ts in general. And tomorrow we'll be going about a hands-on activity where we'll be, it will be involving about every single aspect of creating a course. So in today's session, we'll be covering all the theoretical aspects like that are shown in the presentation. That being said, the second point, as usual, in every certification course, we'll be sharing you our feedback form in some time. But right now, we'll be taking 15 to 20 minutes of questions. If you have any questions with regards to whatever problems that you're facing currently with creating online content or selling them, you can ask Mr. Deepak as of now, and his co-founder Mr. Rajan is also there today on the panel. So we can take quick 20 minutes
Uh,
Q&A session. And if
Hi,
case
Varun.
if you have any questions, yes, let me complete
Yeah,
once. If you have any
okay.
questions, please raise your hand. So
I did.
there
I
is
did
a,
raise my
hand
hand.
raise button.
Yeah, I did raise my hand. So I'm sorry if I'm. Is it
Yes. Yeah. With regards to Harmeet ma'am, we'll just go to you after this. So if you are able to share your text in the chat box, you can post your questions there, or we'll be announcing your names, and you can take the question here. So, Harmeet ma'am, please go ahead.
okay? So the question that I have is regarding the two things actually. So one, I have tried on the concept of using Loom for my own self-recorded videos, but I wanted to know that how you can do it generally. Otherwise, like the way we see so many YouTube videos where the presenter is inside the video and is also using the OneNote and the camera, both are on at the same time. Because I did search online, something with OBS and StreamYard was there, which was very confusing. So how we can do that? That is one question I have you to ask. Second, how can we do what you are doing right now with Microsoft Teams, you are saying, or if I may say, if I use a Google Meet or a Zoom, how do we, add it as a live stream on YouTube? These are the two things that I would like to know. Thank you.
So I'd like to answer the YouTube question, Deepak. Maybe you can answer the remaining ones. So what we usually do with OBS is that whenever we are running the stream live, so we are running today's session on Microsoft Teams, but on the other periphery laptop that we've got, we would be streaming the content using YouTube Live. So on YouTube Live, whenever you schedule in YouTube Live, I'll just show it to you right now so that everybody can actually see it. So give me a second.
But we can't
Yeah, I
add
hope
PPT na in YouTube Live.
you can. I mean, if you are able to share the screen, that is when you can do it. So see, there's an option to go live. When you click on go live here, so what happens is that you basically go to that live creation. So here, this is a live stream option that you have on YouTube. So as of now, you can see we are streaming with Deepak, and there are about 70 to 20 viewers that are actually seeing. So you can basically create a live stream like this, and there are some settings inside the live stream. So when you go here, there are these stream settings that you see. So you got to take the stream key, copy, paste it, and show it in um, there's a tool called OBS. So you'll have to just paste it there, and once when you do that, you'll be able to stream it live. So this is exactly what you're supposed to do.
So with OBS, we can include our PPT also.
If you are sharing your screen, like I am sharing here, and if I open my PPT here, you would be able to see it, right?
Still confusing, but yes, if you could share certain link, some content, because I'm still not very clear with the process. Yes, I've tried YouTube Live, but with only myself in the camera angle, but not with the content which I would have been able to do. So that was little not I understood how to do. I did not understand StreamYard or OBS, so I just wanted to know how to do that. If that can
Okay,
happen,
sure.
it would be really great.
Sure. I'll share that in the chat box. I'll share the links of how
Thank you
to
so much,
use
Varun.
OBS. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So
Any other
coming to
questions,
it-
teachers? Please raise your hands. We'll go. Please, Deepak, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think the first question was how do I create the content which is shown in YouTube, for YouTube videos, right? So I would say those are a little bit more professional videos, right? In terms of people actually, there is someone who's going to record the video, and after that, there is a lot of